My husband is a finance bro. He went all in some cryptocurrency investments some years ago. He didn't lose money, but the crypto is just not moving well right now. He hasn't gotten a job in 16 months. I am the main provider in the house right now. My children's school fees was increased and we can't meet up with the bills. We are broke to the bone. Some time ago, my ex offered me money out of the goodness of his heart. I told my husband, but he refused that I collect the money from him. My husband has warned me that if I take the money, he will leave the marriage. Now that he's in the marriage, how much has he contributed? Hi guys, welcome to True Tales and Thoughts. Today we're going to be reading some stories about people's jealous partners from the Instagram page, Joroolumofin. If you want to follow Joro, I'm going to link his Instagram page in the description box down below. You can click the link and go and follow him. If this is your first time here or you've been watching without subscribing, click the subscribe button, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and without further ado, let's get right into it. The first story says, my ex is pregnant and she's dating someone else. I want to sue her to court. Hello Joro, good morning. Please keep me anonymous. My ex and I dated for 8 months and then we broke up. A few weeks after we broke up, she called me saying that she's pregnant. I told her from the get-go that I was not interested in marriage and that she should go ahead and terminate the pregnancy, but she refused. So in that case, I told her that I was willing to support the baby even though I was not interested in marriage with her. As soon as she heard this, she started insulting me and cursing me out. I ignored her. I'm a mature person and I like my peace. Later on, I found out she was now in a relationship with this guy. She is pregnant, 2 months pregnant. How would she be pregnant with my child and having intimacy with this guy? How do I even know if the guy is clean or STD free? I already warned her that she can't be in a relationship until our baby is born. I've now called my cousin who is a lawyer. I want to sue her. Is it a good idea? Please advise. So guys, for this story, I think that even though that baby is his child, he is no longer with the mother of the child, so he has no right to dictate to her whether or not she should date. You have left her, you're no longer with her, and unfortunately it seems like the person you chose to carry your child is not the kind of person that you can collaborate with. You have no rights over her, she's not your wife. Okay, so in my personal opinion, he has no right to dictate to her whether or not she'll be intimate with whosoever she wants to be intimate with. You should have thought about that before having sex. For you guys who have been watching my channel for a while, you already know that I'm a Christian. So even though I can see things from other people's perspectives and I understand that not everybody's a Christian, in my personal opinion, it is ideal to wait until you're married to someone before having children, before having sex and all of that. It can get very complicated. This is a very serious commitment. If you have a child with someone, you are basically tied to that person for the rest of your life, or until, God forbid, the child unalives. Hopefully our children will not unalive before us, but until that child unalives, you are tied to that person. So I believe that it's very serious, and the truth of the matter is that as long as you're having sex, there's always a possibility of you getting pregnant. So I think that he should have thought about all this before having this child with this woman. Obviously, things did not work out between them. It can happen to anybody. It even happens to married people that things don't work out and they have to go their separate ways. But for me, I think that if you're going to have a child with somebody, choose someone that you know that you'll be able to collaborate with. So keep that in mind. Know that as I'm having sex with this guy or girl, they might end up being the mother of my child. Is this the kind of person I would want to be the mother of my child? You know, now that there's the extra liberation, people have sex anyhow, they have access, they feel like they're just free to have access to anybody. But we should always know at the back of our minds that from that sex might come a child. And another thing I would like to address is the way he asked her to terminate the pregnancy. Bro, are you kidding me? Do you think that's an easy thing? I have the impression that sometimes people downplay the intensity of unaliving your unborn child. It's not as simple as people think. This is something that can literally end you. I don't know if men understand that. I know that in the media, what they push to people is that it's so easy, you know, just swallow this pill and everything will be okay, everything will be rosy after that. But it's not exactly like that. It is harder than that. If you actually take out the time to do some research on people that have actually gone through these things, you realize that it's not a walk in the park. These are things that affect your soul. You will never be the same. okay? You will never be the same. And that's some people disagree with me and say that it is just a fetus, it is just an embryo, it is not yet a child, and all of that. But personally, I believe that that is murder. If you unalive your unborn child, you have committed murder and you have blood on your hands, and you forever have blood on your hands, okay? I just believe that this whole topic of unaliving children should be taken very seriously. It is not a joke. I know that it can be a life-saving measure for some people. Maybe if in the case of incest or RAPE, that could be a life-saving measure. But if you can avoid it, you better not do it, because it is, in my opinion, it is unaliving. And when you unalive, my dear, you will never be the same, okay? You will just never be the same. Forget what the mainstream media is telling you, right? Go down the rabbit hole and read some stories of people that have actually gone through child unalivements, and tell me if that sounds like a walk in the park. So when men do these things and then they don't want to take the responsibility of what they've done, they just tell the woman, oh, just get rid of it. It's not a walk in the park. If you're having intimacy with her, be ready to assume the consequence. Maybe some people have it easy, don't feel anything, they just do it and that's it. But there are others that it's really a big deal. And I believe that for every normal person, it should be a big deal, because you are literally unaliving your own child. That is very dark stuff. It is very, very dark. So I really frown at men that make it sound like it's so easy to unalive your own child. It is not a walk in the park. If you can avoid it, you better avoid it. The first comment says, the child might not be yours. Also, your lack of responsibility as a father is appalling. You're just losing both ways. This one said, which baby are you referring to as your baby? The one you rejected and asked to be unalived? Are you serious? Exactly. This is a child that he requested to be unalived. He didn't want to assume the consequences of his actions. You were having SES with her. You knew that was a possibility. And when the consequence comes, you want to run away and you tell her, go and get rid of it, as though it's a walk in the park. This kind of men, oh my God. This one said, you don't want her, but you still want to dictate to her what she should do with her body. And you are acting like you're worried for the same baby you asked to be unalived. Are you kidding me? I know, guys. The next one said, it's your cousin I blame for picking his call. Rubbish. Oh my God. This one said, I hope when you told her to unalive the child, it was in a chat so that she can have evidence to sink you properly. You are just angry now because you've seen her happy with somebody else. Narcissistic bastard. Ah! Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. People are not joking with this guy in the comment section. This one said, all this for a child you never even wanted. All of a sudden you're being a fantastic caring dad. Or is it because there's another man in the picture? I suspect that he's being jealous because now there's another man in the picture. He cannot stand it. He's probably seen her happier with him and she's moving on with her life, and he just cannot take it. And maybe he's already picturing the fact that this man will now be the father of his child, taking care of his child and his ex. The pill is too bitter for him to swallow. Yeah, I think that's what's going on here. The next one says, is she an Igbo girl? Well, if she is, Poster, I'm very happy to announce to you that if that man marries her, that baby belongs to him and will bear his name, not yours. I know. And you know, guys, I actually really love this tradition. I love that Igbo tradition that makes it so that if a girl has a child out of wedlock, the child belongs to her father or the man who makes her a wife. Oh! I just feel like it is so natural. I feel like that is how it's supposed to be. I feel like it just follows the course of nature. It flows. Because why should that particular child bear your surname if you're not making the mother your wife? I don't know. Why should that happen? It's just one of those cultures that I really like. Yeah. This one said, she responded very well to you because you can't be saying you are mature and advise a woman to go and have a baby unalivement. Your sense is not correct, Sha. Now that she's moved on and got into a relationship, you are mad. Joke's on you. I love that girl already. This one said, so in a nutshell, you want her to be alone during the pregnancy, the time when she needs a partner the most. Wow. Exactly. You guys already know that I don't condone XCX before marriage. I think it's ideal for you to wait until marriage to have XCX, because with SEX comes a lot of things, including children, right? So you should make sure that the person you're having SEX with is the right one, the one you're married to, your legal spouse. But in this context, in this situation, I think that if Opie was a genuine person, a mature person as he calls himself, he would have instantly be happy that she has someone to cater for her during her pregnancy. When you're pregnant, you're very vulnerable. When you're pregnant, you need a lot of support. If there's someone there by her side to give her support in the person of her partner, her new partner, shouldn't you be happy for her? You left her already. The only thing that links you together is your child. So if there's someone there to take care of her, why are you mad about that? For me, this is just jealousy. It's just jealousy. He left her and he wanted her to stay alone. In fact, I'm sure if it was left to him, he would prefer that she stays alone for the rest of her life. Yes, while he goes out there and moves on with his life. I'm sure he's moved on with his life by now. I'm sure he's had 2 or 3 girlfriends by now. But he does not want her to do the same. He does not want her, and at the same time, he does not want her to move on. Okay. This one said, you don't have shame. See what a full-grown man is saying. If you truly cared about the child, would you have suggested unalivement? Senseless man. So between unaliving your child and another man having sex with your ex, which is better? I hope, wish and pray that this child will grow up to see the message where you ask the mother to unalive him so that they can know that you never wanted him or her alive. Please, I don't agree with this. I don't think that children should be involved in their parents' fight, because when the elephants fight, it's the grass that suffers. I just believe that no matter what issue parents are having, don't drag the kids into it. I don't think that when the kid grows up now, the mom should take these messages and show them like, okay, you see, your dad did not want you here. He wanted you unalive. I don't think all that is necessary. I just feel like it's a situation of, since he was not able to convince her to unalive the child, maybe he finally came around to the fact that he's going to be a dad. Eventually, when the child is born, I believe that this man should be able to have access to his child as his father, even though he'll probably have a second dad at home, but the child should still have access to his father, unless the father is harmful, unless it's the kind of situation where this man can harm the child, then that's a totally different story. If this OP is willing to be in the child's life, I believe that is totally fine. Don't drag the kid. I don't think the mother should start poisoning his mind about the kid. It's not about you. It's about the child. And I believe that everything that parents do should be in the best interest of their children. You don't need to recruit your children to start fighting their parents. All that is not necessary. All they need is their mommy and daddy. That's it. And if there's a daddy at home, that's fine. If there's a mommy the other way, that's okay. They have bonus parents. They'll have mommy, daddy, and their bonus parents. And life goes on. The kids don't need to be dragged into the mess, you know. So this one said, hi, the audacity of this writer. I have never seen this kind of thing before. After asking her to unalive the child, you now want to sue her for being in a relationship. I am very curious to know the exact reason you will give your lawyer and the court for suing her. Sense is very, very far away from you. Oh my god, guys. Let's take the second to the last comment that says, this poster is a terrible person. You don't want a woman, and you also don't want her to live her life. You are just sad that she's moved on and the man is now giving her what you couldn't give her. I wish I could see you in person to tell you all the things I want to tell you here, but that Instagram won't allow me to type. Oh my god. And he said he's mature. Can you imagine calling himself a mature person and this is how he's behaving? I mean, that's the thing too. What exactly is he going to tell his lawyer? Oh, my girlfriend is pregnant with my child and I don't want her to be with anybody, so give her a restraining order that she's going to show to all the men that come around her until she gives birth to her child. Is that what you intend to say? Oh my god, how do you even put this to a court? Let's take the last comment that says, you are unreasonable. Even that your self-proclaimed lawyer cousin advising you to sue is a bloody FOOL. The cousin hates you, and if he's actually a lawyer, he should be disbarred. My ex offered me money to support my family, but my husband's ego is getting in the way of us feeding and paying our children's school fees. Hello Joro, good evening. Please keep me anonymous. Thank you. My husband is a finance bro. He went all in some cryptocurrency investments some years ago. He didn't lose money, but the crypto is just not moving well right now. Additionally, he had some bad investments. He opened a restaurant which is not moving very well right now. He hasn't gotten a job in 16 months. I am the main provider in the house right now. My children's school fees was increased and we can't meet up with the bills. My husband said we should enroll them in this public school that his Baba recommended. Baba, Baba. Some time ago, my ex offered me money out of the goodness of his heart. I told my husband about it, but he refused that I collect the money from him. My husband has warned me that if I take the money, he will leave the marriage. Now that he's in the marriage, how much has he contributed? It's my fault I even told him. Good wife, Abi. We are broke to the bone. We are running out of everything. For instance, my makeup is finished, but for the first time in 3 years, I can't afford to buy it. I shouldn't have told him about it. Should I just go ahead and collect this money from my ex without telling my husband? Please advise. The first comment says, collect the money, pay your kids' school fees, but don't feel obliged to sleep with him in return. In fact, don't do it. The second comment says, I don't even understand how married people still talk to their exes to the extent of them knowing your financial problems. Shame not the catch una. That's the point. That's a valid point. Why are you still talking to your ex to the point where he knows about your financial issues? Or does she want to tell me that this ex of hers just offered to give her money from nowhere? Guys, do you think that it's okay as a married person to still be good friends with your ex? Just imagine that you were in a relationship with this person and you broke up on good terms, but you still remain friends and you talk from time to time and maintain a platonic friendship, having moved on with your lives. If you eventually go ahead to get married, what do you do with this ex? Are you the kind of person who thinks you should discard them and no longer have them as your friend? Or do you think that it's possible to be friends with your ex? More so, given that you had been in a relationship with this person and you're now in a platonic relationship with them, don't you think that this platonic relationship is going to be a very close platonic relationship? If you eventually go and get married, what would you do with that kind of person? Would you discard them or would you still keep them as your friend? Let me know in the comment section. This one said, I shower day your eye, madam. Why are you still discussing with your ex, especially when financial matters are involved? Deep down, you know what you want to do. Please go ahead and do it and don't disturb us, I beg. Oh my God, really? This one said, collect the money, Joe. After all, what is your husband bringing to the table? In fact, flaunt the money in his face safe. Is that really necessary? This one said, sorry to say, but why does your ex know what's happening in your home? And as a matter of fact, why are you even still talking to your ex? This one said, I pray for every husband out there. May God continue to bless you so that you can provide for your family. I command open doors and financial opportunities to come your way in the name of Jesus. Amen. I know, because this whole thing boils down to the fact that she's in lack. This woman might be a greedy person. But I know that the reason why she's really considering collecting this money from her ex is just because she's in lack. And can you guys imagine what the husband is going through right now? Seeing your wife contemplating collecting money from her ex. I hope that he was not being harsh with her, because honest to God, especially when it comes to children, a woman and her children, you cannot expect her not to be able to take care of her kids, and you think that she's not going to try to go the extra mile to get money for her children, right? So I understand what the husband might be going through now. It definitely be feeling like a failure because he's not being able to provide for his family right now, to the point where he's not able to meet up with the basic needs and bills of his family. That must be very hard on him. If my ex offers me a gift and I'm clearly in need of that money, gosh, especially when it comes to my children need that money so bad, I'll be very tempted to take that money. I'll be very, very tempted to take that money. But you also know that money can be used to manipulate a lot. Sometimes there's some certain things that you might not want to do, but because of money, you find yourself going down a very, very slippery slope. So in this situation, that offer from her ex might be very, very tempting. But in my opinion, if she can, she should restrain herself from taking that money. I don't know the details of this story. I don't know if her ex just offered her a gift of money, or if she had complaints to him that she's in lack and they're not able to meet up with their bills at home. That would be very sad. To me, I'll be ashamed. How is she not ashamed to complain to her ex about her financial situation? To me, that is quite embarrassing. Can I imagine going back to an ex of mine to start telling him about all my financial problems? Oh, come and help me because this and this and this with my new husband. Oh my goodness. Where is the shame? I don't care how close I am to you. If I find myself in that kind of situation, I'm sorting myself out, okay? I don't need you to sort anything out for me. First of all, I'll be too embarrassed, and not only for myself, I'll be too embarrassed for myself and my husband. I want to protect my husband's image, especially if I'm in a healthy marriage. I'm not trying to make any ex of mine look down on my husband. Hello. So, well, it would be very sad if she's the one who actually went to her ex to beg him for money. Oh my God, what does that say about your husband? But doesn't she have friends? Couldn't she go to her friends or maybe her family members? Did you have to go to this ex of yours? It's so embarrassing. I don't know how she did it. This one said, when I usually say that some of you that are married are not supposed to be married. Madam, you didn't know times like this would come in your marriage. Didn't you think that true? You think marriage is a bed of roses? Instead of you to sit down with your husband and plan on how to come out of this, rather looking for exits up and down. Well done. Another thing is that restaurant business. Can't they do something to save that business? That's just something I was wondering about. Do you remember the part of the story where she asked, now that he's in the marriage, what is he contributing to it? What is he bringing to the table? Some things come and go. No situation is permanent. Now he might be struggling financially, and tomorrow he will have enough finances to take care of you and your children. So I don't think that you should just condemn him and start disrespecting him just because he's not meeting up right now. I think this is just a phase that will pass. And I believe that this is a test of character. This is a time when she needs to show her resilience, her patience, and her intelligence. Your husband has opened a restaurant business that is not working. Can you brainstorm and help him revive the business? Or is there something you can do to pull yourself out of this situation? If there's something, then you should definitely be thinking of how to implement it, because at the end of the day, you are one with your spouse. What your husband is going through is your problem. You cannot just go out there and collect money from your exes because your husband is going through a rough patch. I believe that this is time to team up, because two are better than one. I believe that this is a perfect time to team up and pull your family out of this financial pit. Let's take the second to the last comment that says, only 16 months you dey complain. The man that has been doing it for years, is he a donkey? But he's a man. He was born for that life, okay? I think 16 months is a long time to be the sole provider of your household. It's a long time. She's tried. The man is supposed to be providing for his home, and 16 months, in my opinion, is not only 16 months. She went on to say, speaking with your ex is one problem. Asking him for money is a big one. And collecting the money is an even bigger problem. Yeah, I don't think she should take the money from him. I don't think so. And it was good that she actually came out to tell her husband about it. You know, it was good that she actually came out to tell her husband about it. But now she wants to go back on her good decision. Let's take the last comment that says, why are you even in communication with your ex? Submit to your husband and do what he suggested. Take those kids to the public school and manage your home. We attended public schools and we are doing well in life. Some of us are senior management staff, while some others run successful businesses. Public or private school does not determine the success and future of any human being. We are the ones who determine whether or not we want to be successful. God knows if I get married, I'm changing my phone number. Why should you even consider collecting money from your ex? Do you think he's going to give you the money for free without demanding sex from you? Don't break your marriage because of your ex who is now in your past. If you collect that money from him, it won't end well. Your husband is only trying to protect you. I know. I don't think that she should take that money, because if she collects it, the power dynamics have changed. I believe that if she told this ex about her financial situation, that's a very big mistake. She's already opened that door for the ex by letting him know that her husband is quote-unquote inadequate, quote-unquote unable to take care of her. So I'm sure the ex now sees her as an easy target because she's an unsatisfied wife. He might be giving her this money to lure her into an adulterous relationship. Girl, don't fall into that trap. Let nobody use money to lure you into something that will destroy you. I know that it can be very tempting because you need this money, but shine your eyes and don't fall a victim. The next story says, my husband is mad at me because I helped my male neighbor undo his hair. Hello Joro, please hide my identity. My husband and I are in the UK and we have 3 male neighbors. I talk to and greet them normally with no strings attached to any of them. There's this particular guy among the 3 of them who is the most cheerful and open-minded. He is single, a divorcee. He asked me to help him undo his hair. PS, you know in the UK they charge for everything. Since he didn't have extra money to pay for his hair to be undone, he just begs me to help him with it. So I told my husband about it. He initially complained, but later changed his mind and said I should help him if I want. Seeing that my husband was a bit reluctant, I didn't go to help him. Later on, the guy came to us and asked my husband directly that please he would want me to help him losing his hair. At this point, I was trying to dodge, but he kept pleading. I finally gave in and helped him. Ever since I helped him undo his hair, my husband has been fighting me and giving me attitude. He says that I was being disrespectful both to him and myself for loosening my neighbor's hair. I want to know, is he just acting up or did I do something wrong? Well, in my opinion, for this one, I don't think that Opie should have loosened her neighbor's hair. Just because from the write-up, she clearly said that she could tell that her husband was being reluctant. So knowing her husband and seeing that he was reluctant, even though he told her to go and loosen the neighbor's hair, she should have used some emotional intelligence and not done it. In my opinion, she should have categorically told her neighbor no. There's no point when you're trying to beat around the bush and dodge. Then you give him room to keep pleading. But as soon as you understood that your husband was not okay with you undoing your neighbor's hair, you should have just gone up to the neighbor and told him, oh, you see, my husband is not okay with me doing this, so I am not going to do it. Good luck. Period. Most times when you're very assertive and you categorically tell someone no, it's almost like you're shutting the door, not only shutting the door, but putting a lock on it. Most normal people will not continue pleading and begging after you've categorically told them no. Okay, she just probably gave him excuses and tried to beat around the bush. So I think that she should have known better and not done it. However, at the same time, I think her husband should have been more assertive. You know that you don't want your wife doing this. Why can't you just tell her, you know, babe, I'm not really comfortable with you hovering over this guy. I don't want my wife hovering over some guy's head, loosening his hair. You know, I'm just not comfortable with that. There's no way my wife is going to be hovering over a guy's head, loosening his hair, touching his scalp and all of that. Nope, I don't want you doing that. That would never be you. You know, he should have just directly told her, no, you're not doing it. In the nicest way possible, but directly and categorically. I just think that he was not being forthcoming with his feelings. He felt a certain way, but he could not bring himself to say it. He was clearly uncomfortable with the idea, but he just could not bring himself to put it in words to his wife directly and make her understand that he does not want her to be doing this. He was also beating around the bush. If we're just going based on what he said, he shouldn't have any problem with his wife undoing her neighbor's hair because he told her that she could do it if she wanted. So basically putting the responsibility of the decision making on her. So when you do that, don't be surprised then if she uses her discretion and decides to go ahead and loosen this neighbor's hair. You told her to do what she wanted, right? So also believe that sometimes men need to open their mouths and talk and say exactly what they want. Now you're giving her attitude like a child who cannot express himself. You can talk, sir. It would have been a totally different situation if this man had just opened his mouth and told her no and she went ahead to do it anyway. Then we would have been talking about something else. But he told her specifically, you can do it if you want. Even though he told her reluctantly, those words came out of his mouth. And now that she used her discretion, he's moping and giving her attitude. Do you see it? You should have just said what you wanted, really, what you truly wanted, and all this will not be an issue. Let's take the first comment that says, no long talk. I would like to see you maintain the same energy when your friendly single female neighbor asks your husband to help her loosen her hair. After all, it isn't a big deal. You know, that's the thing. Most of the time, right, if people would just have some empathy, then they would understand other people's feelings better. If she just puts herself in her husband's shoes and turned the tables, then she will understand that she ought not to do it. She ought not to loosen this guy's hair. Oh my God. This one said, sure you don't know your husband. When he said, go and help him if you want, you didn't catch the sarcasm. My dear, better start apologizing. Well, that's the thing. Is he a sarcastic person? You know, maybe he really said, go and help him if you want. And she's never seen him being sarcastic before. So she just took his words literally. It could be, you know. This one said, this man had a chance to stop what he didn't approve of man to man, but he chickened out and pushed the burden of saying no to his wife. Exactly, because Opie mentioned in the write-up that this man had come to him directly and asked him for permission to let his wife loosen his hair. Why did he not tell that man directly there and then that my wife is not doing this, leave her alone? He chickened out, pushed the burden of decision making onto his wife, and now he's moping. We're not doing this. The person goes on to say, the male neighbor courageously approaches you with his disregard for your marital boundaries, and you couldn't open your mouth to say no to your fellow man, and now you are blaming your wife? Good luck. This one said, there are some requests you don't even need to tell your spouse before rejecting. If your husband started helping your single female neighbor to fix her room because artisans charge a lot, how will you feel? Oh my god, I know, but the thing is, I also believe that people have different boundaries. Loosening somebody's hair, you have to get into close contact with them, but I know that there's some people that will not have any problem with that, right? That's why I believe that you need to talk. When your wife comes to you with that kind of issue, don't act as though she's supposed to be a soothsayer and read your mind. Maybe she doesn't find anything wrong with helping her neighbor do that, but you find something wrong with your wife helping your neighbor to do that. So open your mouth and speak. Leave sarcasm. Open your mouth and speak and say what she really wants. Instead of allowing her to use her better judgment, then you come after and start giving her attitude. What is all the drama for? You should have just told the firm hard truth to both your wife and this man, and this wouldn't have been a problem. This one said, must everything be carnal-minded? Can't there be some freedom to relate with people with a free mind? Why read meaning into everything? This comes down to the point I was talking about, right? Sometimes it's just loosening somebody's hair, It's true that the contact is close, but sometimes it's just simply that, loosening somebody's hair. But I believe that if you're married, your husband should be comfortable with that. You might be comfortable doing it, but if your husband is not comfortable with you doing it, you should not do it. That's just what I'm saying. And it's a good thing that she even spoke to her husband. The only problem is that her husband was not being frank with her. So she used her better judgment. I don't think she should apologize for anything. I think the husband should grow up and learn to communicate effectively moving forward. This one said, my gender and hypocrisy. Just last week, a lady came here to complain that she came home to her sister braiding her husband's hair, and his head was in between her thighs. You all told her to send her sister away. Now is the situation of a woman loosening her male neighbor's hair, but now you all are saying her husband is overreacting. This word now for woman only, Abi. Yeah, we actually read that story in one of our videos. I'm going to link it in the description box below and put it here in the card. If you want to watch that video, you can go and watch it. Basically, the story was about this woman whose sister had been living with them with her children because she was having issues in her marriage. She had left her husband, so the sister had been living with them. So she came back on this fateful day from work and met her sister braiding her husband's hair. The husband's head was in between her sister's thighs, and her sister was wearing bomb shorts. It made her very uncomfortable to see that. So she was basically asking if she should send her sister away with her children or just give her some more time. And in the comment section, people were going off. They were like, no, you need to send that sister away. Don't let her stay one more day in your house. Don't you have parents? Why can you not send your sister to your parents? What is going on? Send her away. So that's why this person is now coming to say, how come you guys had that energy when it's about a woman, and now that the tables are turned, you're saying her husband is overreacting? We actually covered that story. You guys check out the video if you have not watched it already. Let's take the second to the last comment that says, don't focus on what people say, focus on what bothers your partner. If he or she feels disrespected, respect his or her feelings, apologize and learn what makes your home happy. Proving a point only leads to separation. Making your spouse feel relevant is a good thing. Don't listen to people. Your wife or husband has the right to feel like a priority in your life. So if you can make them feel that way, please do. The thing is, I tell my fellow married men that respect is reciprocal. What you can't tolerate, don't dish out. Respect is earned. God bless our homes. Exactly. I just think that both of them can do better. This woman should have read the room. In fact, she read the room. She realized that her husband was being reluctant, but for whatever reason, maybe the pressure and her neighbor's persistence, she decided to ignore her husband's actions, banking only on his words, and went ahead to undo the neighbor's hair. On the other hand, the husband should have just said the truth, and none of this would have been a problem. If he categorically told her no, she wouldn't have gone there, I believe. So let's take the second to the last comment that says, Madam, it is very wrong. There is something called marital boundary. You should learn that so you can accord some respect to your husband. Because if you don't, the neighbor will soon ask you to help him lay his bed sheet one day. Exactly. Your neighbor is supposed to know that you're married. Don't allow him to start feeling comfortable making unreasonable requests to you. If you don't show him that your boundaries are strong, he might just keep pushing it. And truly, one day he'll ask you to help him lay his bed for him. And you know what comes after that. So you guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. If you were in OP's shoes, would you have gone ahead to undo your neighbor's hair? And do you think her husband is overreacting, or do you think his reaction is just normal? Let me know in the comment section down below. So guys, we finally come to the end of today's video. If you enjoyed watching the video, like the video. If you've not yet subscribed to the channel, make sure you click the subscribe button, subscribe to the channel. Lastly, share this video with anybody you think will find this kind of content entertaining, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.